Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. See, on the Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's matter, some of his constituents were saying over the last few days, gathering signatures with the aim and the agenda of recalling her as stipulated by law. A recall of a lawmaker is possible according to our laws, but there are procedures and regulations regarding that, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, which is the electoral umpire, is saddled with the responsibility to be able to administer that recall process. So today, INEC says that it has received a petition to recall Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan by some members of some constituents, according to the Commission's regulation and guideline for recall of 2024. INEC says the petition from the Kogi Central District was accompanied by 6 bags of documents to be signatures collected from over half of the 474,554 registered voters spread across 902 polling units in 57 registration areas in the 5 local government areas of Adavi, Ajakuta, Ugoremagongo, Okeyi, and Okene. But there are issues with that petition, as details of the contact of some of the petitioners as stipulated by the regulations are absent. Let's speak with one of those who are behind of the petition, Bello Ivava. He said to be a Kogi Central activist live for us in our studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Ivava, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Are you one of those who are being sponsored to recall Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan?
We are not being sponsored. That's a very wrong statement. We are not being sponsored by anyone.
So, because there are those who spoke on camera who said they were being asked to come and engage in an empowerment scheme, but it turned out to be that they are now being asked to gather signature or put their signature for Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's recall.
That is not a statement of fact. You see, Barrister Natasha Akpoti is known for pushing the wrong narration. Let me establish how she came on board. She contested with Engineer Abubakar Ohere, and she lost that election. And one way or the other, she got it through the court, and no one can contest that. And the expectation about her was very high. But today, she has not done anything different or anything new. To our dismay, what we see her do in the National Assembly is engaging in altercation and against constituted authority. And we as a people of Kogi Central, we have high pedigree. So, and she has not represented the character we are made of. So this is how...
What local government are you from in Kogi Central?
I'm from Ajakuta local government.
You are from Ajakuta. Yes. And Ajakuta is interestingly not so far from Okene,
yes,
where Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan is from.
Yes.
So she's your sister?
She's my sister.
Would you consider her as a performing senator?
She has not performed.
In what sense?
You see, we expect her to have vital contribution in the National Assembly. So far, so good. The issue of tax reform, she didn't have any contribution on it. The policies of the government that is not favoring people, she didn't have any contribution. What we see her do is chasing shadow, sexual harassment issues, and this is not what we expect from her.
What, did you witness the empowerment program she did in December, January? Did you witness it? Did you see it?
I witnessed that empowerment, though I have my reservation about that.
Well, you don't like it?
She has not done anything new.
No, I'm asking you specifically about the empowerment program. You don't like the empowerment program that she did for our constituents?
I'm not saying so. I have my...
But it's a good thing about empowering our people.
It's a good thing,
but food,
we expect something
the skills acquisition and some of the materials given to
most of those things are propaganda, to be honest. Because after the empowerment, we start hearing all sorts of news that they were fake. All those things were brought to the camera, and at the end of it, they did not share it to the people. These are the rumors all around. And there was serious heat about that.
But you're a member of the APC, right?
No.
You're a member of the PDP?
I'm not a member of the PDP.
What party do you belong?
Is that question relevant in this?
I'm asking you a question. I mean,
no, I just want to know how is it relevant to the...
It's relevant because I determine what is relevant to the conversation. We invited you for this conversation?
I know. I'm
only
curious to know why you're asking.
I'm asking because if you say you're a constituent member,
yes,
you're a registered member, a voter in of Ajaokuta
yes.
in Kogi Central.
Yes.
Probably at some point you might have participated in some political activities.
Yes.
Perhaps the reason why you do not appreciate Senator Natasha Akpotiuduaghan's empowerment efforts.
No, that is not the reason. You see, I'm a realist and a patriotic citizen of this country. I will not discredit her on any ground. I'll tell you what is practical, what we experienced with her in Kogi Central. She only faked those empowerment.
So you don't think that Senator Natasha is performed at all?
She has not performed.
What were your expectations?
Our expectations were very high considering her manifestos. She promised heaven and earth. Today, she has not done any of that.
You are an Ajaokuta man.
Yes.
Are you privy to the motion she moved on Ajaokuta State Company?
Is for her interest, honestly.
How?
You see, Mr. Shem, Natasha has shifted her focus. She's been distracted with some personal interest in the National Assembly.
What are these interests? Because I like to know.
Okay.
I mean, if she moved a motion that the situation surrounding Ajaokuta State Company should be investigated, how is that a personal?
Same person said that we are not staff in the Ajaokuta State Company, whereas there are over thousands of staff there. Those people, if the federal government would have scrapped that, they would have lost their job. So such a person, I think she has other motives behind those bills. What she promised us is not what she's giving us. And why I think we should even focus on why we are recalling her. So
why are you recalling her?
I think that should be the major thing. We are recalling her because, in fact, she has. Are you with me?
I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Okay, we are recalling her because she has bring disrepute to us as a Kogi State Central Senatorial District. We as a people, we have respect for constituted authority. And what we see her doing today at the National Assembly is against our doctrines and teachings. So this is why we decided to recall her, let her come back home, so that our elders can teach her some.
Do you have anybody to replace her if you want her if you want her recalled?
That question is coming too early. The process.
So you don't have any option. You just want her out of the Senate.
We have other good people, but I'm only saying the question is coming too early for now. We are focusing on how to make sure this recall exercise is being successful. Then when we get to the bridge of who is going to replace her, we'll get it right.
So you said that she is against and not listening to constitutional authority.
Yes.
So your judgment of wanting to recall her is based on what transpired between her and Senator Godswill Akpabio?
Not really, not just that. We think she has an empty ego. Empty ego in the sense that she lacks self-awareness. She has some self-inflated sense of importance. The issue is so simple. Apologize to the Senate, change your seat. She is against the rule. The Senate is guided by rules and regulations. She refused to apologize because of her ego. So we cannot continue
we wonder that as constituents of Kogi Central, if your senator is facing this kind of situation, you will support her, especially because now she's a woman.
If she would have come back to us, till this moment we are talking, she has not come to organize any town hall meeting to tell us that this is what has transpired, what are your contributions. We have allies. We have our contribution. We advise her, tell her, or she will even tell us reason why she doesn't want to apologize.
Why were some of those who were donating or putting their signatures being given money?
That is not true. You see, that Natasha and her group, Senator Natasha and her group, has a way of pushing the wrong narration.
But those who said they took money, they gave them money at this instant. You did not collect money. Is that what you're saying?
There was nothing like that. This video is fictitious. We don't know where it emanates from. Look, we have series of...
This is the same form that people was... you don't know any of these people?
I don't know them.
You don't know the signature, the same signature and the petition that was submitted to INEC?
Have you seen the petition submitted to the INEC? How will you say these are the same
No, but you collect signature in a form.
Yes.
Your name, your voters' details, and your signature. Is
the
that not
original videos of those people who come out with enthusiastic to append their signature are there. This is a very fictitious.
Do you think this is going to be successful?
Yes.
This recall?
Very well. It's going to be successful because our people are desperately willing to pursue this to the end. They are so disappointed.
This is not the first time a Kogi senator they are moved to recall his Kogi senator. Senator Dino Melaye faced the same thing.
This is a different case. This is a different case. You see, down to the grassroots, even the non-elite among us, they have their ears to the radios. They are well informed about the attitude and gross misconduct of Senator Natasha. And at the end of it all, we are going to be helping Senator Natasha. Because when we recall her back, she will have the time to face her sexual allegation or her sexual harassment issue in the court. But we just want her to live there. Let someone who can represent us credibly should come.
But the people voted for her.
Yes, and she has disappointed people. The same people are recalling her. I voted for her. I did.
How many signatures were you able to collect?
Over 250,000 signatures, and that is constitutional requirement. So
over 200,000.
250,000.
Over 250,000 out of the over 400,000.
Yes.
Are you aware of how many people who voted in that election, that Senatorial district?
No, I can't have. I'm not aware of that.
It's just about 40-something thousand.
I can't recall.
Just about 40-something thousand.
Okay.
Are you curious that if 40-something thousand people voted and you have 200-something thousand people recalling her, does it raise any?
You see, this time around, people take it so personal, because we as a people have, as Avelia said, we have high pedigree, and we don't appreciate when any of us is bringing disrepute to the land. So this is why everybody is out. And let me also tell you, there was high sensitization. We use every available means and media outlets to sensitize our people, so they are well informed about her gross misconduct. And referencing to her track record before now, she has, one way or the other, did all of this in the local politics. And we thought it's because of internal issues, how we have blackmailed Yabelu and others. So when she now takes same issue to the National Assembly, so we understand that, okay, it's of no good for us. So this is how we come to realization that we have to recall her.
Just in a moment, in the course of the program, we'll also be allowing our viewers to have a sense of what happened on the side of Senator Nwamboyi, who will be joining us in a moment, because Senator Nwamboyi and Dr. Obi Ezekwesili are the exchange, and Senator Nwamboyi is live for us here in the studio. Senator Nwamboyi, thanks so much seeing you for joining us on the program.
For the
what really happened today, that was on Senatorial, if I could use that word, undistinguished. How would you shout down a woman? How would you shout down a distinguished member of the society, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, even at our age? Why?
Well, it is an action that brings up a reaction. And you'll hear from me first before you make such a erroneous conclusion. It's erroneous on your own side. Oh. And I'm here to give you
erroneous that she's a distinguished person?
And I'm a sitting senator.
Yeah, I made that
I'm a sitting senator.
So I'm wondering...
So listen to the action that brought the reaction.
What made you do? And that's the question.
Today, we appeared before the Senate Committee on Public Petition. Senator Natasha was invited with her witnesses to come and prove allegation of sexual harassment against the Senate President. I was also invited as a witness to the Senate President to also rebut her falsehood, the false claim of hers. So it started when she was asked to be on oath, because she said she was a witness. He said, no, she can't be on oath. She can't take oath. So as a person, I said, okay, I'm willing to be sworn on oath so that I can give my own evidence. I was addressing the presiding officer, the chairman of the committee, and she turned to me and said, will you shut up your mouth? A sitting senator in the Senate, that I should shut up my mouth?
That's what aggravated you?
Yes. And I said, no, ma. Withdraw that statement. He said, will you shut up your mouth? You're a hooligan. I said, you are the hooligan. For a mother like you, a grandmother of your age, a former minister of the Federal Republic, to tell a sitting senator to shut up his mouth and to add that I'm a hooligan, then you are the hooligan. In fact, I went for her to describe her in fact, let me not use that word again.
No, I mean,
but I respect her as a mother.
Yeah, but
she went off the.
But do you regret the scenario which played out?
How can I regret the scenario? I gave it to her.
But is that fair?
Is this fair for her to address me that way?
I mean, you could be offended, but as a man and as a senator, I mean, if you are offended, would you go in the same?
As a former minister of the Federal Republic, a grandmother, ask her first.
And I'm saying that it is human to err,
yes.
And without hearing
if she erred, it is a male.
Without assuming that, I mean, to whatever allegations or whatever you said, and Dr. Obi Ezekwili said, yes. Because we've not heard from her side. Yes. But I'm saying that even if she offended you, yes. You have come of age too.
No,
if someone offends you,
I merely replied to her.
But you were emotional.
How can I be emotional? She was also emotional. Emotion jumps emotion.
But do you regret that kind of thing happening between both of you? This is happening on national television.
It's unfortunate that a mother, a grandmother, a person of her standard can be so moved by emotion to call a sitting senator a hooligan, and that she shut up my mouth. When I was asking for clarification from a presiding officer, I was not addressing her. I was talking to the Senate Chairman Committee on Ethics. So I have no business with her.
If she apologizes to you, would you also?
Of course I will. I'm a Christian, and this is a Lenten period. But you cannot insult me, you cannot abuse me, and you ask me to keep quiet.
Why is this Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's matter emotional? Why
we should ask them. These are people that have been clamoring that they were not given opportunity to prove their case. The opportunity came. The petitioner started by saying that the committee is biased and she cannot lead evidence. I said, why can't you lead evidence in your case? You already have an affidavit. Just adopt the affidavit. He said, no, just from one flimsy excuse to the other. Just like Obi Okwesili. She says she's a witness. Take oath so that you can tell Nigerians and the whole world all you know about this case. She said no.
Senator.
They actually came to disrupt the cities.
Senator, I'd like to ask you, in all of this, there are feelers as though there is a chauvinistic tendencies going around in the Senate, and that some of you who are men in the Senate do not have the air of patience or to accommodate the feminine voice in the Senate. It doesn't portray the Senate well.
That is wrong. Everybody has equal opportunity in the Senate, be you a man or a woman. In fact, in the Senate, there is no woman. We are all equal. Senator Natasha, who alleged also that the Senate president is silencing the voice of the female senators. This is a woman that have moved up to 6 motions. This is a woman that has to her credit 3 bills. The records are there. I can send it to you black and white.
The allegations on the day that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is talking about,
yes.
You were present in that house.
I was there.
You were behind them.
I was the closest person to Senator Natasha. In fact, let me give you
an account. The husband was between...
Let me give you a brief account. On that fateful day, when we landed at Victor International Airport, as God will have it, I drove in the same vehicle, her vehicle, from Victor International Airport to the Senate President's house after attending other series of programs in New York that the SP invited us. We retired to Senate President's house in the same vehicle. When we go to the house of Mr. President, I remember vividly, she was complaining of her shoe paining her. She stayed back with the husband. I went up to meet the Senate President with other senators. Senator Stengu was there, Senator Dankwambo was there, Senator Sam of Bello said over 20 senators were there. The man took us around his garden and gave us a dinner. When it was 12 midnight, we all sang birthday song in honor of the Senate President. There was never a time the Senate President held her hand as alleged and made any unholy advances to her. It never happened in that.
But you were not, but there were 2 of them.
I was there.
There are words against the Senate President, but you were not at the moment, in the moment which she was talking about.
I was there at that moment.
Because she said her husband was right behind them.
She was always with her husband. If you watch the video, which I'll make available to you, She was at the right backside with her husband.
Would you say that the Senate has been fair? Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is said not to have been invited. Fair hearing comes to play.
She was invited.
Was she invited to
She was invited.
Was she invited?
We wrote her a letter.
Did you see the letter of invitation that was changed?
Of course.
And the sitting was brought back and they sat, and on that
I don't know about that. I don't know about. I got my own invitation as a witness. Her petitioner got her own invitation. I believe she got her own invitation to be there.
Is it possible, Senator, because we are totally out of time, is it possible that you and your colleagues consider a political solution to all of this? This is messy and it's giving the Senate a bad name.
If you watch, no, it's not giving Senate a bad name. It's giving Senator Natasha a bad name because she is trying to prove the impossible. And remember, this is the same woman that have accused other prominent Nigerians of sexual harassment. And I'm disappointed that media is not going towards that direction. You people are not objective in your reportage. This is the same woman that accused one of you, Reno Mokre, of sexual harassment. When the young man brought her evidence that he was in America when the sexual harassment happened, you don't say anything about it.
Senator,
this is the same woman
we need to go, Senator.
No, you need to go into
Senator,
because
is there a possibility of a political solution to this?
If you watch the suspension terms, we'll give a room for political solution. If she realizes her mistakes and tenders apology, not just to the Senate President, but to the Nigerian Senate.
All right, Senator, we are totally out of time. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.